What can I say? I like sport bikes and I cannot lie. So, in one of my videos last year, while I was waiting for my new F3 engine to come in, I mentioned that if you're going to get an MV Agusta, it is probably in your best interest to have another option. Because if you need a part, you're probably going to be waiting a while. And I said that I actually had two other motorcycles in addition to the F3, because I'm just a big motorcycle nerd. Now, if you're a subscriber, you have seen the F4 in a couple of videos already. But now let me introduce you to my third motorcycle. And yes, it's a bit of a redheaded stepchild because I don't really ride it that much. This is my Triumph Thruxton 900. I know, not an Italian sport bike. I'm a little surprised too. I bought it new old stock because I don't like to pay full price for any motorcycle, in case you haven't noticed. Now, next to the F4, this is the bike I've had the longest, and I've been able to put a little over 37,000 miles on it at this point. At the time, Triumph was switching all their models over to fuel injection to comply with European emissions laws. So I believe this is one of the last years it was carbureted. So it's just been sitting in the corner unloved in the dealer showroom for about 6 months into the new model year. And similar to how I got the F3, they made me a deal I just couldn't pass up. Now you may be wondering why I would look to buy another motorcycle when I had gotten my dream bike, which is the MV Agusta F4. At the time, I was riding that F4 almost every day, like I do with my F3 now. And let's just say there were a few things that came up that started to bother me. And you might want to consider this if you're going to get an F4. The first one is the heat. It is a hot motorcycle. In fact, it's the hottest motorcycle I've ever ridden. Not only does it have an underseat exhaust, so you are guaranteed to have a warm butt and cojones whenever you go out on a ride. Not only that, but the engine itself has a piss-poor cooling system. It's a bike that was built for racetracks, not stop-and-go traffic, so the cooling system was built accordingly. And the heat of LA summers is no joke. Facts. Summers in LA are getting a little bit hotter every year and lasting a little bit longer every year. And that bike just got to be unrideable during the summer. Any temperature above 80 degrees and you're going to be roasting. The cooling fan is going to be on, blasting hot air all over your legs for the duration of your ride. It just got to be miserable riding it during the summer. The second thing the Triumph is much better at than the F4 is obviously the ergonomics. The ergonomics of an F4 are aggressive. When I took a trip from LA to the Grand Canyon a few years ago, 8 hours on a bike, I would never think to ride the F4. That would be torture. I like a challenge, but that would be too much even for me. So of course I took the Triumph. So for long rides, the Triumph definitely wins. And the third area where the F4 is lacking is in carrying passengers. I've taken passengers a handful of times on the F4, and every single time the person has gotten off and said that was the most uncomfortable motorcycle ride they've ever been on. So definitely the Triumph is way better, way more comfortable for passengers. So all those things combined made me decide to get the Triumph. And it's a great bike. I really enjoy riding it. The problem is I enjoy riding my other bikes more. I never ride it. I'd say 90% of the time I'm going to choose to take the F3, 9% of the time I will take the F4, and 1% of the time I will take the Triumph. What can I say? I like sport bikes and I cannot lie. So I have decided to sell the Triumph this year and buy another bike. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fun to ride. It's been super reliable. It's just that I don't have a ton of passion about riding it when given the choice between the three motorcycles. But I want to do at least one video about my third bike in case anyone was curious what it was. And considering I'm going to be selling it in the next couple months. So consider this my token Triumph video. So if you want to hear more stories, subscribe, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one.